When I was in high school, a group of seniors started this photography business. And I remember when I had Facebook at the time, all I kept seeing were people from my school shooting music videos and all up in these photo shoots. And I'm not going to lie, it fascinated me. I'm not saying I want to hop in a music video or anything like that, but yo, y'all are like 16, 17, 18 years old starting a business and it's doing really well. So I'm like, whoa. But after they graduated, it was still kind of popular during the summer. Then eventually it disappeared. It makes sense because the two guys who were running the photography and film business, they just got busy with college. And, you know, I already felt like later in my life, looking back at this business was bound to fail. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. And this is an important lesson for, or with the company that you keep, right? Y'all are doing business with high schoolers. People in high school don't got money like that. You shooting music videos for your homies and they're probably buying you an Arizona iced tea and feeding y'all with Popeyes during the video shoot. Like, this is a hobby that y'all trying to make into a business. And that's great. But you're going to be broke being around broke customers. Also, this works the other way around. You know, let's say they decide to deal with non-high schoolers for their business, right? For photography or whatever. Well, ain't no adult want to do business with some kids in high school. That's weird. And it's unreliable. I would never do business with someone in high school unless you have a middleman who is a professional, who is an adult. People in high school have their whole schedule controlled by school and their parents. And if I'm going to do business with you, like the photography business, I need a different schedule besides I'm in math class right now. I got geometry homework tonight. I can't fill this. I got a test tomorrow. Like, all right, bro. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? Like, what, this ain't professional, bro. Like, what you, bro, you run a business. I don't care about your geometry homework. You got a midterm. Like, this is why I can't do business with no high schooler. No thanks. Also, this is a legal issue. If you're under 18, you can't independently sign most service contracts, by the way. So we gotta sign a contract. So doing business with someone in high school is just a disaster waiting to happen. No professional credibility and there's too much risk. But the point is, they wanted it to be a business and probably at the same time help build up their portfolio. But if your customer base is just your friends and your peers, yo, you just gonna keep giving them you're gonna keep giving the homie the market rate of like the homie market rate. You're not giving them the real market rate. You're not gonna put a price on it that's gonna be a good return on investment. Like, you just keep giving the homies a discount. So when these guys are doing business with other people in high school, this is a loss of time and a potential, I don't even say potential. It is an opportunity cost, an opportunity cost lost. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, the people around you or your proximity have a major influence on your success. This doesn't even have to be friends. It can be just your environment. And when you're usually financially struggling or dealing with people who are also financially struggling in your circle or in your environment in general, you'll notice that there's a lack of strategy for purchases that they make or the time investment that they have, you know? And it's not necessarily your fault or their fault. You know, survival is hard. Sometimes you have expenses that come out of nowhere and you have to pay stuff to avoid further problems. You know what I'm saying? If it, like the priority system is very weird. You know, people would rather spend time playing NBA 2K all day or FIFA or other games when they know they got like $20 in their bank account or something like that. And then they'll spend that last $20 ordering something off of Uber because they know that their paycheck is coming this Friday. Like this mindset is like, look, you're like, what is this, bro? And people just don't want to save their money. Like, why would you do that? If you had a lot more money, obviously this would be easier to invest into, right? You could just goof off. But some people are just crash outs like that. And even if they have extra money to save, they don't think about how they can scale it. That friend that always wants to go to a show or always wants to eat out this restaurant or do this and that one friend that always does, that might be you, by the way. And you know they don't got money like that. Like, y'all, you want to go to this restaurant, you want to go here and there, you want to go to the movies, bro. You don't got, what? Bro, you don't got money like that. Yeah, they can spend the money. They do have money like that to spend it. It doesn't mean that it's good for their financial situation, though. It's called being a broke spender. You can spend money on clothes, fashion. You know, you got all the designer clothes and all this stuff, and you know, you always got to order from DoorDash or Uber Eats. You're too lazy to cook. You can't control your impulses with your budget, and people are too focused on their money being used as a tool for instant gratification. Money should be used as freedom and leverage, not for you to fall into the consumer trap. And I've been there before too. I'd spend my money for instant gratification all the time. Like, this is what I mean about people around you in your proximity. I can't trust somebody Who can't say no to a concert, going out to eat with friends, doing some, I don't know, some random stuff? Like, especially when I know they can't be trusted with their own budget. And no, like, these type of people, they do this thing, right? They might guilt trip you, right? If you say no to them, right? Like, I want to go to a restaurant, right? They'll call you broke. That's the hilarious part. They'll call you broke or cheap. No, no. I'll eat at home. I'm okay with that. Don't make me feel bad. I don't want to go out and spend money. Why would I spend this money? I can use for many other things that will last longer than 1 hour of delicious food that I'll forget about the next day. Yo, you ever been to a restaurant and you see the bill, right? You just ate, you had a good steak dinner, you know what I'm saying? And you see the bill, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna pay that $80, bruh. I'm gonna pay that $60. I'm gonna pay that $100 dinner right now at this restaurant because that steak was good. We ate good tonight, cuh. And then the next day, you look at the expense on your bank account or something, and you're like, man, that was kind of a waste of money. You know, I was happy at that moment after I was paying the bill, but now I'm just like, dang, you know, I could have used that $100 for something else. You know, like I really could have used that $100 or $60 or something like this. What was the point of this? You know, like, look, call me cheap. I don't care. When I go with my friends now or anyone, one decaf coffee. That's it. Oh, you don't got decaf? All right, can I just have a cup of tea, please? How much is that? $1? $3? All right, no problem. Like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, you can sit there and eat something in front of me. I'm just gonna have my decaf coffee, okay? I bought groceries for a reason. Groceries are like $100, at least for me. So why would I invest and just go out and waste more money for? I got food at home that I just bought for a reason. And this message is gonna go over a lot of people's head. And honestly, this is because of that mindset thing I'm talking about. Some people are too lost in the sauce at this point. They're like, they're sunken in a hole, you know, honestly. And I think it's because these same people haven't been around anyone who actually makes good money or knows how to not overspend. Or here's the thing, because this happened to me, by the way. They never had a lot of money, or they're scared to think about having a lot of money. It like throws them off. So like, for example, they could think about having a lot of money, but when they actually see it, or if it were to be like in front of them, it would like throw them off. So here's an example, right? This isn't even a lot of money, but I'm gonna give you a good example because this is what I was not used to, right? Because I was an impulsive spender. I was kind of broke with this too. A few years ago, I networked with this guy, right? And I built his website for him. And I was like, okay, so this website, it's just a static website, okay? There's no real back end or anything. It just has information on the website. Like, okay, I'll host it for you on my servers. I'll reimburse the domain, so you don't have to go through GoDaddy or anything like that. You know, I got you, you know what I'm saying? And I'll manage everything for you, okay? It'll probably be very easy because it's a static website, so I don't really need much resources. It's about $10 a month for hosting, okay? And I'll build this static website for you, $500 upfront. And anyone could build a website nowadays, especially with AI. So $500, you may be like, cool, you overcharged him. No, I knew bro has a lot of money. And listen to how important this is. Because when I charged him $500, right? Because you may have, cool, $500 is a lot of money to build a very simple website with simple information on it, right? And it doesn't really do anything dynamic or anything. So I was like, I told him $500, right? And my stomach sort of crunched up when I told him that on the phone. I felt like I was gonna panic. I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna chew me out. He's gonna think like, you charged me $500? He's gonna slap me or something. Because I would never pay that amount. And he was like, well, before I even mentioned that, I looked up and I did my research on the current market. These quote professionals want like $1,000 or more for a simple website, right? So like $1,000, I could get this done in 45 minutes. And he's like, $500, that's great. But let me pay you more, dude. You're undercharging. I'm like, I'm overcharging. What are you talking about? This guy telling me on the phone I'm undercharging him. But not according to the market. So boom, guy sends me $500 flat. I host a website for the past 2 years. I've got this guy on an auto pay invoice. These guys have been paying me for 2 years now. So a week later from this situation, right? He's like, yo, can you build me another website for my other business? And I was like, sure. And I didn't even tell him the quote yet, right? Dude sends me $1,300, $1,300. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even give you a quote. This site would have been another $500. Listen, hey, $1,300 right here. All right, boom. But this is why I felt a little bit shook. I was like, nobody has ever given me like $1,300, like more than $1,000 in my life, bro. I'm just not used to this, And it threw me off, and I was get so scared to even when I did business later with other people. Now it's easier for me to be like, yo, I want this amount, like yo, put up some money right now, like don't. Like what you think this is? Or I'm not gonna. Hey, listen, you better put some money. I want some money here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do this. And like, again, I built him the website, right? And I did it for less than an hour, and I added the total to the monthly invoice that he's been paying me for the past 2 years. And I continue to do business with guy. This guy owns like 6 businesses. So do the math. And then he recommended me to other people. And then I charged them a lot more because they wanted more stuff on their sites. But the point of the story, and this goes back to the main point, you have to understand that when you do deal with broke people, or you're in this broke person mentality, like the high schoolers, they'll pay you off of your effort. But when you deal with people who make money and got money to invest, they'll pay you based off of convenience and time. Yo, we just had a winter storm here. I was thinking to myself, my mentality sort of changed with this. I was shoveling snow out there for at least, I was shoveling snow because it was really icy because of the winter storm. If you live in like the East Coast, you probably got hit by this too, besides Florida, of course. Oh man, I was shoveling snow for like 2 hours, man, because I was breaking up all the ice. And I was thinking to myself, some random kids are walking down the street right now with shovels. They're in groups. I could give these kids $20. They'll split it between 5 people. 5 kids walking around with shovels. I'll give them $20. They'll do this thing in like less than an hour. You see what I mean? Like, bro, this is convenience and time, okay? I'm not paying you based off of effort. I don't want to pay people based off of effort anymore. I'm paying off of convenience at this point. Get this done. That's it. I shouldn't even be out there right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is what I mean here. And like, here's another thing too. Think about like this, going back to like my situation with the 1,300, right? Even though this didn't feel logical to me to send me 1,300 for an hour of work, it was perfectly logical to this guy, because think about it like this. He just solved a massive headache for only 60 minutes. If he tried to do it himself, he'll rip his hair out, okay? Because he's not a tech guy. Or if he tried to hire a quote professional agency, it would take weeks to multiple phone calls and Zoom meetings, all this other stuff to finish a basic website. And eventually, it's going to cost a lot more. Also, remember, I was like $500. He's like, come on, dude, let me pay you more. Here's another thing. Think about it from this perspective. I don't know how much, I don't pocket check this guy, okay? But I'm just saying in general. If you told a millionaire, you'll build a business website for him for $50, right? Oh, you a millionaire? You need someone to build I'll do it for $50. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it. I could do this. I have the skill set to do it. This guy will probably tell you, get out of here. Cause why would he do that? He's a millionaire. $50 is $50, like to build a whole website. But you know what the issue is? It's not professional. Even if you're the best coder of all time and you put your heart and your soul, you put so much effort into this, it's just not professional. You ever see a product that is really cheap on the market and you choose not to buy it in comparison to its competitors because you're like, this is weird. How come everything here costs $10 and this one version of this product costs $1, right? And then you're like, it sounds way too good to be true. Something's cap here. Is this like a scam? Then, like, you look at the reviews and then there's a reason why it's so cheap, right? The quality is bad, or there's a lot lesser of this product or something. And then you're like, listen, what? I see why it's so cheap now. Look, when you set a price high, you basically insinuate some form of trust, especially if you're doing this on a professional level. This is why the photography thing was bound to fail. You had broke customers. You didn't base the price off of the convenience and the time of your work. I saw the music videos. I saw the photos. I told you it fascinated me. They look great, by the way. So it wasn't a skill issue, which is a big thing here. A lot of people, you have a great skill set. But the people you are giving these free passes to, or the people who you're trying to do business with for this quality of work that you're able to perform, at this point, you ripping yourself off. It's not even a business anymore. You're just doing this a hobby or for a portfolio, and you're getting $20 tips from your homies or something. Like, it's not bad to have a hobby to build stuff later in your life for success. But these guys for this photography business, in this example here, y'all ran it like a business, okay? And targeted the wrong demographic. Y'all could have targeted other demographics, but still at the same time, how about the homies? So you could do both. You could build a portfolio at the same time, build up other clients. Hey, maybe their parents are gonna be like, yo, these kids from your school did this? Hey, listen, we got some stuff that we need some photography done at the office here. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just something random I was thinking about, analyzing what had occurred in the past. Also, maybe if they hadn't gone to college, or which why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? In this case, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have a successful business, you know what I'm saying? If college didn't split them up, you never know. Even if my assumption is wrong about their fate of their business, I think the interpretation I have is still very helpful if you plan to sell stuff to people, or you plan to, if you have an issue spending money, you get what I'm saying? Like, sorry, I'm rambling, but like, I even think about this with buying beats, man. When I was working on music, I was thinking like, some of y'all be selling beats online for like $14.99. Okay? Put $50 on that beat. I'm gonna tell you why. Someone is gonna buy it who got money, and probably more money for marketing too. If someone got $50 to spend on a beat, they must think that they're gonna blow up right now with some disposable income. You know what I'm saying? Or they got some disposable income where they can market, they could buy a $50 beat. They could afford that. And then they're gonna spend money on other stuff. So you gotta you gotta go for the right customers here. Put $50 down for that beat. So why are you charging $15 instead? This is what I mean. Don't undervalue yourself. And if you make something too cheap in terms of price, it will be oversaturated eventually. And that only works based on how much volume of customers you get to begin with. And nobody's buying your beats, for example, and you're charging $15 to buy it. Listen, you got to switch it up. Raise the price higher. You got to measure how many hours you're trading for something like this, And always price yourself based on convenience and time, not your own effort. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Love you guys. I'm out.